Hey, everybody, welcome to the Scalable Expert podcast. I am thrilled that you're here today. Hey, I'm going to do a quick episode today, and this is going to be a little bit different. So, I want you to just imagine, close your eyes. If you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, you can do it too. But close your eyes and just imagine what would happen to your business if you could not work tomorrow. Just think about that. What would happen to your business? Would you be able to continue to have sales coming in? Would you be able to continue to deliver on your services or whatever it is that you've sold to your customers when you can't show up? Would they still get results? Would they still feel supported? Would they still feel like you are present to them? Or would your business completely implode if you weren't able to show up tomorrow? I really want you to think about that and think about how you would handle that. Would your business be okay if you couldn't show up, or you couldn't show up because you had to help someone else? What would happen? And I want to challenge you to really think through that as you think about the rest of this episode, because here's the reality is until you have your business in a proprietary framework, into systems that can be delivered, even if you aren't showing up, that you can still get people results, your business is fragile. Your business is not going to survive if you aren't showing up, feeding it all the time, right? So if your calendar is maxed out because you have client meetings, if everything that you're doing, every single new client needs a custom proposal, or they need a custom project, or it's really just relying on you to be able to deliver the result that you've promised, your business is at risk. And when we start looking at becoming a scalable expert, it's really about changing that equation. It's changing from how do I show up and fulfill to how do I create systems and essentially a signature framework that allows you to deliver even if you're not showing up in person, right? So it's not dependent on your time at all. And so when you start building your business based on not depending on your time, the way you show up in your business completely changes. And it's not like, so often people are like, well, if you put your business on autopilot so then you can take an extended vacation and just not show up and not help people. That's not what I'm talking about. And there are a lot of people who create businesses like that. And I would argue that those aren't people like us, right? They're not service-based providers who want to create an amazing experience for their customers. It tends to be more lopsided in terms of they show up when they want to, but it's not about the customer, right? So we deliver to our customers. But there's a way to do that and have a business that will survive and thrive when you're not showing up in person all of the time. So start to kind of pull that question out for yourself. Where in your business do you need to start adding systems? Where do you need to add some consistency and predictability in how you're delivering? And that's when you start looking at how to apply the Scalable Expert and infinite scale method into your business. How do you start thinking as a scalable expert and not as a service provider or a coach or a consultant? You're thinking about how are you solving a consistent problem for people who really are looking for a different result. And then how do you show up in the best way, just like we've been talking about in prior episodes? But really start with that question. Start thinking about how to move in the direction to go from everything custom, everything requiring you and your time, to building in some automations and systems and customer journey mapping that allow you to start to pull away but still provide an awesome experience. So one of the things that we do in the Scalable Business Academy is really focus on that. How do we solve that problem? How do we start moving from people being dependent, our clients being dependent on us showing up and making stuff up each time, to how do we create an orchestrated experience for our customers, and then we show up and help them overcome obstacles and hurdles, but they can still get results without us showing up live every single time because of how we've created the experience. There are a number of different ways that we do that as we go through the infinite scale method. So, when you think about the model you may be operating in right now, or the traditional model of like you build everything from scratch, your revenue is tied directly into the hours that you're working, right? If you're working long hours, if you're like, oh, it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm still working, you may be operating under that old model, right? You are managing clients, you're managing projects. Everything is dependent on you delivering something each and every time. Then I probably know your answer to the question that I asked at the beginning, right? If you're looking at it and you're like, I've built my signature framework and that is what I'm leading from so that I can deliver it, and you can show up and deliver it however you want to once you have your signature framework, because all your clients are consistently moving through your business. Revenue is tied to assets or things that you have created, not to your time. Your clients, again, they're moving through a consistent and guided experience. They're not like all making stuff up and taking you in a million different directions, where you're able to then start looking at how do you add another way to deliver your framework, whether it be an online experience, a live event, a book, a certification program, a licensed product, and anything else, right? Anything you can dream up. There are a million different examples, but all of that is tied to creating something that you can do consistently without making stuff up each and every time. So that is where you start, is start thinking about the answer to that question, and then you can start moving to taking baby steps to stop the ad hoc custom project work each and every time. So if that is where you find yourself, you, my friend, are a perfect candidate to come in and start shifting your business model, because it's not that you're doing it wrong. It's just you're just in the wrong business model, right? You're in a service-based business model that's not scalable beyond your time and attention. So if you are thinking about, if you can't show up tomorrow, or you want to be doing other things, or you want to maximize your ability to leverage your expertise, all of the hard work and training and learning time that you've put in, it's time to think about moving into the scalable version of yourself and what that looks like. So I would love to hear if you are on this journey and what answering that question meant to you as you start looking forward into working on a scalable business model that allows you to grow and leverage your time and attention totally differently. I'd love to hear about it. In the show notes is my information, so feel free to reach out to me. If you love this episode, give it a rating, send it off to someone else who could benefit from thinking about this question, and we will go from there. All right. In the meantime, make sure that you are looking at how to leverage your time and attention using your signature framework to develop your authority strategy and scalable business systems. All right. Until next time.